Hey everyone. Thanks for stopping by the channel. If you enjoy these stories and want the full uncensored versions with much hotter exclusive content, be sure to check out my Patreon. There are already over 850 stories available, with new parts released every day. You can also submit your own ideas and vote in polls to decide what stories come next. Right now, poll number 27 is active on Patreon, and the results will help decide which stories are released on both YouTube and Patreon. This story was chosen there as well. Patreon also gets exclusive stories every week that will never be posted on YouTube. All links are in the description and pinned comment. Subscribe, stay connected, and enjoy the story. The sun had long since set over Konoha, leaving the village bathed in the soft orange glow of paper lanterns. In a secluded wooden cabin tucked away in a quiet clearing on the outskirts, surrounded by tall trees and far from prying eyes, 3 kunoichis sat around a low table. Anko Mitarashi lounged back with her usual wild grin, her long dark purple hair loose around her shoulders, the black mesh top she wore doing almost nothing to conceal the generous swell of her chest. Kurenai Yuhi sat with perfect, elegant posture, her long black hair framing a mature and strikingly beautiful face, her crimson eyes calm but calculating. Yugao Yuzuki stood near the window, lavender purple hair tied in a high ponytail, her posture straight and disciplined from years in ANBU, though a faint spark of anticipation flickered in her eyes. "I'm done pretending this stress is normal," Anko said, swirling her cup of sake. "Missions, paperwork, the same old tension every week. We need something better. Something with real stamina that won't break or complain." Kurenai nodded slowly. "Naruto. His recovery and energy are on another level thanks to the Nine Tails. He's loyal, eager to please, and dense enough that he might not question the details at first." Yugao's lips curved in a small, knowing smirk. "And we already prepared the seal. Once he signs, he won't be able to refuse a direct order. 1 month. He'll be ours completely." They had spent the last 2 weeks crafting the perfect trap. The scroll looked completely legitimate, and official looking. Elite endurance and loyalty training contract. Supposedly sponsored by high-ranking jounin. In reality, the fine print and the hidden chakra seal woven into the parchment would bind the Signer's body and chakra to obey the 3 women without question. They knew exactly where to find him. Naruto was still training alone in a distant clearing, shadow clones bursting around him as he pushed himself through another round of practice. "Naruto-kun!" Anko's cheerful voice called out as the 3 women stepped into the clearing. "Working hard as always, I see." Naruto turned, wiping sweat from his brow. His orange jacket hung open, revealing a toned, sweat-slicked chest and abs. His bright blue eyes lit up at the sight of them. "Anko Nichin! Kurenai-sensei! Yugao-san! What are you 3 doing out here so late?" Anko flashed her signature grin. "We heard you've been pushing yourself nonstop. We've got something special just for you, a 1-month intensive program to seriously boost your endurance and loyalty. Real personal training. Official contract and everything." Kurenai stepped forward gracefully, unrolling the scroll with both hands. "It's been approved at a high level. Sign it, and the 3 of us will personally oversee your progress every single day. You'll come out of this month much stronger than you can imagine." Naruto's eyes went wide with excitement. "Seriously? That sounds incredible. I've been trying to find ways to get stronger faster. Where do I sign?" Yugao handed him a brush and a small kunai for the blood seal. "Right at the bottom. A drop of blood makes it binding." Naruto didn't hesitate for a second. He pricked his thumb and signed with bold, enthusiastic strokes. "Done! When do we start?" The 3 women shared a look. Anko's grin turned sharp and predatory. "Oh, we already started the moment you signed," she said sweetly. Kurenai's red eyes glowed faintly as she fed chakra into the scroll. The hidden seal flared to life with a soft pulse of energy. Naruto felt a warm rush spread through his limbs, followed by a strange, heavy compulsion settling deep in his chest and mind. "Wait. What was that?" he asked, suddenly uneasy. Anko laughed, low and delighted. "That, Naruto-kun, was the real contract activating. The one you just signed makes you our personal servant for the next 30 days. You obey every command we give you. No refusing. No running. The seal will make sure of it. Naruto's face drained of color. What? Servant? Like some kind of slave? No way. I never agreed to that. Let me out of this right now. He tried to step back, but his body locked up mid-motion. A wave of weakness and dizziness hit him the moment he thought about disobeying. His chakra felt sluggish, unresponsive. Yugao spoke in her calm, measured voice. The seal binds both your body and chakra to our direct orders. Resistance only makes it worse. First command, strip everything off. Naruto's hands moved on their own. His jacket hit the floor, followed by his pants and boxers. He stood in the middle of the cabin, face burning crimson. This is insane. You tricked me, he protested, voice cracking. Kurenai stepped closer, her elegant fingers trailing lightly down his chest. We did. And now you belong to us. Don't worry, we'll take very good care of our new toy. But first, we need to properly test how well the seal works. Anko licked her lips, eyes roaming hungrily over his exposed body. I'll go first. She pushed him down onto the large futon in the corner of the cabin. Anko climbed over him without hesitation, still wearing her mesh top and short skirt. Her long purple hair fell around her face like a wild curtain as she looked down at him with pure hunger. Look at that face, all red and embarrassed. But your wand is already getting hard. Your body knows the truth even if your mouth doesn't. She reached down and wrapped her fingers around his shaft, giving it a slow, firm stroke. Naruto gasped, hips jerking despite himself. Ankone, this is wrong. Wrong? She purred, squeezing him harder. This is your new training, remember? She stood up on the futon and slowly peeled off her skirt and panties, revealing her smooth, glistening treasure. The scent of her hit him immediately. First lesson, how to properly serve. Start with your tongue. She lowered onto face, thick thighs bracketing head. Her heat pressed. Naruto's face burned hotter than ever, but his tongue, licking hesitantly along her folds, tasted strong and addictive. That's it. Good boy. Naruto's mind spun. This can't be real, but she tastes so good. I can't stop. His wand throbbed painfully against his stomach. He pushed his tongue inside. Anko's thighs tightened around. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 850+ scorching hot episodes. Fuck yes. She breathed. Feels even better than I imagined. So eager and desperate. She reached back with one hand and lazily stroked his stick again, thumb smearing the bead of nectar at the tip. She rode his face harder, her juices coating his. Her thoughts were loud and satisfied, finally. A toy with real stamina that won't tap out after one round. This dense, energetic idiot is perfect. Naruto's head felt foggy with shame and overwhelming arousal. His face was flushed dark red, breathing rag through his nose, but he kept working. She didn't move off. Instead, she slid down. Now the real part, she said, voice husky. She grabbed his shaft and rubbed the swollen head through her soaked folds. Beg for it. Naruto swallowed thickly, face scarlet. Please. Please what, Naruto? Please, Ankone. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 850+ scorching hot episodes. Anko stood and adjusted her clothes with a deeply satisfied smirk. Rules are simple. You either stay here or come running the second we call. You do every chore we give you without complaint. And whenever any of us wants relief, you provide it. Immediately. The seal will enforce everything. Kurenai stepped forward, her crimson eyes glowing with soft power. My turn to test the seal's limits. Yugao moved to Naruto's side and gently but firmly took both his wrists, pinning them above his head against the futon. Stay still unless told otherwise. Naruto's heart hammered. He was still sensitive from coming, but his hardness was already swelling again thanks to his unnatural stamina. Kurenai undressed with elegant, unhurried movements, revealing her full, mature body. She climbed over him in reverse, facing his feet, and lowered onto face while reaching back to wrap her fingers around his wand. Let's see how well the seal handles a little enhancement, she murmured. Her red eyes flashed. A gentle but potent genjutsu washed over Naruto's senses. Suddenly every touch doubled in intensity. Her heat against his tongue felt impossibly wetter, sweeter, hotter. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. Yugao observed quietly. His recovery really is exceptional. Kurenai lifted herself, turned around, and sank down onto his sword. The genjutsu made everything feel magnified, her tight heat squeezing him like a vice. Naruto's head spun. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon, 850+ scorching hot episodes. She looked down at him, red eyes glowing. Do this for me. The seal triggered instantly. Naruto flooding. Kurenai finally lifted off, his nectar leaking from her in a slow, obscene trail. She leaned down and pressed a soft kiss to his forehead. Good boy. Yugao released his wrists. Rest for tonight. Tomorrow the Real service begins. Anko chuckled from where she was pouring herself another drink. And don't even think about trying to fight the seal. It only gets stronger the more you resist. Naruto lay there between them, body spent but strangely satisfied, mind still reeling from everything that had happened in the last hour. The cabin was quiet except for their breathing and the faint crackle of the small fireplace. He had signed up for training to get stronger, but this was something else entirely. As the three women settled in around him for the night, Anko's voice came soft and teasing near his ear. Sweet dreams, our new toy. Tomorrow we start your full month of service. Naruto closed his eyes, the weight of the seal heavy in his chest and the memories of their bodies burned into his mind. 1 month. He had no choice but to obey. But somewhere deep down, a small, traitorous part of him was already wondering if he even wanted to fight it. Guys, please don't forget to hit that like button and drop a comment if you enjoyed it. It means the world to me and gives me a huge boost of motivation. Your support keeps me going. Morning light filtered softly through the thin curtains of the cabin, painting golden stripes across the wooden floor. Naruto slowly blinked his eyes open, his body feeling heavier than usual. For a few blissful seconds he didn't remember where he was. Then everything from the night before came rushing back. The fake contract, the seal activating in his chest, Anko's wild grin as she sat on his face, Kurenai's red eyes glowing while she rode him, the way his body had obeyed every command against his will. His face immediately burned hot. He's still lying on the large futon with the three women around him. Anko was sprawled on his left side, one bare leg thrown possessively over his thigh, her mesh top twisted up and barely covering one of her full chest. Kurenai slept on his right with her usual elegant grace, long black hair spread across the pillow like dark silk. Yugao was already awake, sitting near the window in a simple dark yukata, quietly sipping tea while watching him with calm, unreadable eyes. This is really happening, Naruto thought, his stomach twisting with a confusing mix of shame and something else he didn't want to name. They actually tricked me, and now I have to do whatever they say for a whole month. Yugao's voice broke the silence, low and composed. You're awake. Good. First order of the day, get up and prepare breakfast for all of us. You will remain like this until we give you other instructions. No covering yourself. Naruto's body moved before his mind could fully protest. The seal pulsed warmly in his chest, turning any thought of refusal into a strange, heavy reluctance. He sat up slowly, trying and failing to hide his morning hardness with his hands. Anko stirred beside him, cracking one eye open with a lazy, predatory smile. Morning, our cute little toy. She purred, voice still rough with sleep. Already again? Your body really doesn't know how to quit, does it? That's going to be so much fun for us. Kurenai woke more gracefully, stretching her arms above her head. Her red eyes flicked down to his exposed hardness and a small, knowing smile curved her lips. We'll take care of that later. For now, breakfast. Eggs, rice, miso soup. Serve it properly on your knees. Naruto stood up on shaky legs, his face scarlet. He could feel all three women watching him as he walked to the small kitchen area. His hardness swayed heavily with every step, refusing to soften no matter how embarrassed he felt. The seal made the shame sharper somehow, but it also made his body react to their eyes on him in ways that only deepened his humiliation. They're all looking at me like I'm Some kind of pet, he thought, cracking eggs into a bowl with trembling hands. And my stupid body is just going along with it. Anko came up behind him while he was whisking the eggs, pressing her soft chest against his bare back. She reached around and lazily teased his hardness once, slow and teasing. Careful not to burn anything, Naruto-kun. If you mess up breakfast, we might have to come up with a creative punishment. And I have a very active imagination. Kurenai sat at the low table, watching him with elegant amusement. Spread your legs a little when you stand. We want a clear view while you work. Good posture too. Shoulders back. Yugao remained by the window, but her gaze was steady and appraising. Remember what I said yesterday about proper service. Even simple tasks like cooking should be done with focus and respect. You're not just making food. You're serving your mistresses. Naruto obeyed, face burning hotter with every passing second. He plated the food carefully and carried everything to the table, setting each dish down in front of the women. They made him kneel beside the table while they ate, occasionally feeding him small bites from their chopsticks like he really was some kind of obedient pet. Anko deliberately dropped a small piece of tamagoyaki onto her bare thigh and pointed at it with a wicked grin. Lick it up. Slowly. And thank me for the privilege. Naruto leaned in, face on fire, and licked the egg. Thank you, Anko-ne. Kurenai's fingers brushed his lips every time she fed him a piece of fish, her touch lingering. You're blushing so much already. It's quite endearing. Yugao simply watched in silence, but Naruto could see the slight flush on her usually composed face. She was enjoying this too, even if she hid it better than Anko. After breakfast, the next orders came without mercy. Clean the entire cabin, Kurenai said, sipping her tea. Floors, windows, dust the shelves, wash our clothes from yesterday. You will do all of it naked. We'll supervise to make sure you do everything correctly. The next 2 hours were pure, drawn-out torment for Naruto's pride. He scrubbed the wooden floors on his hands and knees while Anko sat nearby, inspecting his work. Every few minutes she teased him. Look at how hard you are just from scrubbing, she teased. Maybe we should make this part of your daily routine. Naked floor cleaning while we watch. What do you think, girls? Kurenai smiled faintly from where she was reading a scroll. It does have a certain charm. Especially when he gets that desperate look on his face. Yugao supervised the laundry outside. She stood behind him while he washed their clothes in a basin, her hands resting on his hips as she gave calm instructions. Scrub the fabric properly. Don't rush. And keep your back straight. Compulsion, and the way the 3 women kept touching him had left him aching and desperate. Yugao finally stood up from her chair, her expression calm but her eyes darker than usual. Come here, she ordered. It's time for your first proper lesson in attentive service. She led him to the center of the main room. Anko and Kurenai settled comfortably on the cushions to watch, both of them clearly looking forward to the show. Yugao stood in front of him, still wearing her dark yukata. She looked down at his naked, flushed body with cool, disciplined eyes. Proper service isn't just about obeying, she said, her voice steady and instructional. It's about doing things correctly. With focus. With care. Today I will teach you how to attend to a mistress's body the right way. Not rushing. Not being sloppy or selfish. She slowly opened her yukata and let it slip from her shoulders, revealing her lean, toned body. Years of ANBU training had left her with small, firm chest, a flat stomach, and long, strong legs. She stepped closer until her treasure was only inches from his face. First, she continued, you will learn proper massage technique. Start with my legs and work your way up. Use both hands. Pay attention to how I respond. Naruto's hands trembled slightly as he reached out. He began at her calves, working the muscles with careful pressure the way he had seen in some of the massage scrolls he'd glanced at before. Yugao's skin was warm and smooth under his palms. She gave quiet, precise instructions as he moved higher. Higher. Use your thumbs more. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon, 850+ scorching hot episodes. Now use your mouth. She ordered. Start slow. Kiss first. Then lick. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. Circle the button. Gentle at first, yes, just like that. 2 fingers inside. Curl them upward. Good. Naruto followed every instruction carefully. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 850+ scorching hot episodes. Acceptable for a first attempt, she said calmly, though her cheeks were still flushed. We will practice this again. Often. Anko was already grinning widely, clearly impatient. Finally. My turn to have some real fun with our toy. Come here, Naruto. She pushed him onto his back on the futon. Kurenai joined her without a word, both women now completely naked. Anko climbed over his face and lowered her wet core onto his mouth without hesitation. You already know what to do, she said, grinding down immediately. Make it good. We're going to use you together this time, she murmured, voice smooth and sensual. Just relax and let us take what we want. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. Such a good little toy. Anko moaned against Kurenai's mouth. Look how hard he's trying to please both of us at once. Kurenai smiled, red eyes half lidded with pleasure. He's learning quickly. And his stamina really is impressive. We chose well. They switched positions after a while, Kurenai moving to sit on his. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon, 850+ scorching hot episodes. Kurenai stroked his hair almost gently, her expression softer than usual. You did very well. We are pleased with our choice. Yugao, already dressed again, placed a neatly folded piece of paper on the low table. These are your rules and daily schedule. Read them carefully. Memorize them. Tomorrow we expect full compliance without needing constant reminders. The list was long and detailed. Wake up at a set time, prepare all meals, clean specific areas each day, be available for relief sessions whenever any of them wanted, sleep in the cabin unless told otherwise, and never attempt to fight or remove the seal. Naruto lay there staring at the ceiling, body aching in confusing ways, mind still foggy. Only 28 days left of this. But the way his hardness gave a weak twitch at the thought made him wonder if left was even the right word anymore. Anko leaned over and kissed his cheek with surprising softness. Get some rest, toy. Day 3 is going to be even more interesting. As the 3 women settled in for the evening, Naruto closed his eyes, the weight of the seal and the memory of their bodies heavy on him. Guys, please don't forget to hit that like button and drop a comment if you enjoyed it. It means the world to me and gives me a huge boost of motivation. Your support keeps me going. The morning sunlight crept slowly across the wooden floor of the cabin, painting golden stripes over the rumpled futon. Naruto's eyes fluttered open to the familiar weight of exhaustion mixed with something warmer, heavier, the constant low thrum of the seal sitting in his chest like a second heartbeat. He could still feel the phantom sensations from yesterday. His body ached in places he didn't even know. Anko was the first to notice he was awake. She was lying on her stomach beside him, chin propped on her hands, purple hair messy and wild. A slow, predatory grin spread across her face. Morning, toy, she purred, voice still husky from sleep. You were making little noises in your sleep last night. Dreaming about us already? Naruto's face flushed instantly. He tried to sit up, but Kurenai's hand landed gently on his shoulder from the other side, keeping him down. Stay, Kurenai said softly. Her long black hair was loose and spilled over the pillow like ink. Her red eyes were half-lidded, calm, and far too knowing. We have plans for today. Real training this time. Outside. Yugao was already dressed, standing by the window with her arms crossed. Her lavender-purple hair was tied in its usual high ponytail, and her expression was as composed as ever, though Naruto caught the faintest hint of anticipation in her eyes. Today we test how well you can perform under pressure, she said. Not just physical pressure. Mental. Risk. Distraction. Anko rolled onto her back and stretched like a cat, her mesh top riding up. We're taking you to the old river clearing in the forest. It's private, mostly. There's a path nearby. People sometimes use it. That's the fun part. Naruto's stomach tightened. Outside? Like where someone could see. Kurenai smiled faintly, tracing one finger down his bare chest. Exactly. The seal will keep you obedient, but your mind will have to work harder. We want to see how well you handle being exposed. Yugao tossed a pair of loose black pants onto the futon. These are all you're wearing. No shirt. No underwear. Nothing else. If you try to cover yourself or run, the seal will make you regret it. Now get up and put them on. We leave in 10 minutes. Naruto swallowed and obeyed. His hands moved almost on their own as he pulled on the thin black pants. This is crazy. Yesterday they fucked me in the cabin. Today they want to do it where anyone could walk by. His face burned hotter. At the same time, his body was already reacting. The seal made sure of that. A low, constant heat pulsed between his legs. Anko walked behind him and gave his ass a firm squeeze through the pants. Already getting hard just from the idea? Good. That'll make today more interesting. The walk to the forest clearing took nearly an hour. They stuck to the quieter paths, but Naruto's heart still raced every time they passed someone in the distance. The morning air was cool against his bare chest and back, making his sensitive buttons tighten. He kept his head down, trying not to meet anyone's eyes, but Anko and Kurenai walked on either side of him like they owned him. What if someone recognizes me? What if they see how I'm dressed, or how hard I am? The thought made his stomach flip with shame, but his hardness twitched anyway. The seal seemed to feed on his embarrassment, turning it into something else. Yugao walked a few steps ahead, occasionally glancing back with that calm, assessing look. When they finally reached the secluded clearing near the old river, the sound of rushing water mixed with birdsong. Tall trees surrounded them on three sides, but a narrow dirt path ran along the eastern edge, clearly used by other shinobi or villagers. It wasn't completely isolated. That was the point. Warm up, Yugao ordered immediately. 50 push-ups. Then 10 laps around the clearing. No stopping. Naruto dropped to the ground without argument. The grass was cool and slightly damp beneath his palms. As he started the push-ups, Anko and Kurenai sat on a large flat rock nearby, watching him openly. Look at those shoulders working, Anko said loudly enough for him to hear. And that ass clenching every time he goes down. Very nice view from here. Kurenai crossed her legs elegantly. He's trying so hard not to look at us. It's cute. The seal is keeping him obedient, but his mind is still fighting the embarrassment. By the 5th lap of running, Naruto was sweating heavily. His bare chest glistened, and the black pants were clinging to his thighs and the obvious bulge between his legs. Every time he passed the women, they made sure to comment. Faster, Yugao called out calmly. Your form is getting sloppy. Focus. Focus? How am I supposed to focus when they're all staring at me like this? Naruto thought, lungs burning. Someone could walk down that path any second, and see me like this. The thought should have made him want to stop. Instead, it sent another hot pulse of unwanted arousal through him. After the final lap, Yugao stood up and walked toward him with the length of thin rope in her hands. Enough running, she said. Time for the real part of today's lesson. She grabbed his wrists without warning and pulled them behind his back, tying them together with quick, efficient movements. The rope was firm but not painful. Naruto's breathing quickened as she guided him backward until his back pressed against a thick tree trunk. She tied his bound wrists to the tree as well, forcing his chest to arch forward slightly. Then she hooked her fingers into the waistband of his pants. It sprang out, hard and flushed, twitching in the open air. Anko let out a low whistle from where she sat watching. Already leaking. The risk really does it for him. Kurenai smiled, red eyes glowing faintly. Yugao stood in front of him, her calm expression unchanged even as her eyes darkened. This is an interrogation exercise. You will answer every question I ask. If you hesitate, I will make it difficult for you to think clearly. She wrapped her hand around his wand and gave it one slow, deliberate stroke from base to tip. Naruto bit his lip hard to stop the moan that tried to escape. First question, Yugao said quietly. Who owns your body for the next 27 days? You three, Naruto answered quickly, voice already rough. Yugao stroked him again, firmer this time, her thumb brushing over the sensitive head. Good. Second question, what happens if you try to fight or disobey a direct order from any of us? The seal, it punishes me. Makes me weak or forces me to obey anyway. She leaned in and kissed him once, slow, controlled, almost clinical, while her hand continued its steady movements on his hardness. Then she turned around, lifted the back of her short dark skirt, and backed up against him. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon, 850+ scorching hot episodes. She turned to face him again, cheeks faintly flushed but expression still composed. You performed adequately. But we're not finished with today's lesson. Yugao untied him from the tree but left his wrists bound behind his back. She pushed him down onto his knees on the soft grass. Anko, she said calmly. Your turn to continue his training. Anko's eyes lit up with pure mischief. She walked over slowly, already summoning a small, sleek purple snake from her sleeve. The creature was no thicker than a strong rope but moved with fluid, living strength. Finally, Anko said, voice low and excited. I've been waiting to use this one. She let the snake coil around Naruto's upper body. It moved with surprising gentleness at first, wrapping around his chest and pinning his already bound arms even tighter against his back. Another loop slid down and loosely circled the base of his sword. Anko pushed him onto his back on the grass. Look at you! She purred, purple hair falling around her face as she looked down at him. Tied up with my snake, hardness leaking all over yourself, completely exposed out here where anyone could walk by and see what a desperate little toy you are. Does that turn you on? Being our outdoor toy? Naruto's face burned. The combination of the rope, the living snake, and Anko's dirty words made his head spin. Ah, yes! Anko grinned savagely and sank down onto him in one smooth motion. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon, 850+ scorching hot episodes. Anko stayed on top of him for a long moment, breathing heavily and smiling down at his flushed, sweaty face. The snake slowly uncoiled and disappeared back into her sleeve. Much better, she said, patting his cheek almost affectionately. You're learning fast, toy.